And a very good morning once again to the new week as we are preparing for the first broadcast of the week. I say good morning and welcome to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe. This is Quinky Media live. As I'm about to join the Starr Radio UK, the morning show, we say good morning to each and every one of you that have joined us so far. It is another week, and as we continue as well to say, self-determination is our right, and it must be respected by the international community. We have the right to self-determination, and nobody can remove that right. It might look like it's not going to happen. It might look like some might not believe in it. But one thing is, the Nigeria you know today is different from the one you know some few years back. Once again, a very good morning to each and every one of us. And I hope the weekend was great. Mine was very good. I had ample of time with the family. May Nigeria not happen to each and every one of us. We say all the time, if Nigeria happened to you, you would understand the consequence of that. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ káalẹ́ níbi tí olúkálùkù àwa ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. As I'm getting ready to join my crew on the Starr Radio UK, I'm using my second hand to prepare the program. This is what the broadcasters do that you don't see. Before you go into the live conversation, you prepare as many things behind the scene that a lot of you probably will never see. All you see is just see the journalists come out and speak. But you don't see the preparation that goes into the sound engineer. I've got to check everything to make sure everything is good and ready to go. And as I always say, I am not a blogger. Neither am I one of your blogging platform. This is a media organization, and all we do is we talk about things happening around the world. But likewise, we talk about the current spark of things happening in the contraction known as Nigeria. Nigeria is going to break. It's no matter what you think or what you say. It's just a matter of when.
Thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought four, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. They thought, and I quote, "Since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country." This is thinking about how we've been having this conversation.
Happen to you. I got the sound. The sound is back. Thank you so much, Mr. Dami. The sound is back. The sound is back. It's okay. Once again, a very good morning to those of you that have joined us so far. Nigeria is at the verge of breakup, and it's just a matter of when it's going to break. It's going to break. It does not matter if that's or might break. But Nigeria will eventually break. So it's just a matter of when if it break. They don't obey court order. There's no rule of law. There's nepotism. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó wà lé poverty has damaged a lot of your faculty, and you think we will come down to your level. For those of you that are still not believing in Yoruba nation ni mo bá sọ̀rọ̀, kò ń ṣe ẹ̀yin tí ẹ mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́ o. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó wà nílé, some of them are just don't understand, and they want somebody like us to come to their level, because for them Nigeria is going to work. I mean, okay, Lara Tanso Lele, one of the headlines. My daughter was preparing for a master's in UK before the crash. Dad. Ọmọ kan wà lára àwọn tó kú ní last week. Kọ́lọ́run fọ́run kẹ́. She's gone. Mo jáde mo ní you should hold the government responsible. But a lot of people say, ó ṣe máa sọ̀rọ̀ pé government ló máa wà responsible. Bus driver lẹ́yìn kó wà responsible. In a sane world, ẹ má bínú pé mo wo camera because mo prepare for program tèmi tí mo fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú Starr Radio. In a sane society, the sound is back. Refresh your system. The sound is back. Nigeria will happen to a lot of you. You will cry. Ká tó cross the hurdles. Èmi ò kúkú sí ní Nàìjíríà. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń lé tẹ̀lé sọ pé ìtẹ̀fẹ́ nìyẹn. No problem. My daughter was preparing to go to UK for masters when she was killed by the train and the bus. How did you receive the news of your daughter's death? I was watching Abuja, watching the television around 9 a.m. when I saw the incident. An hour after that, I got a call that my daughter was involved in it. That was when I knew what I saw on TV was actually happening to me. Then immediately I called my younger brother and sister in Lagos. I later received 2 calls in another 10 minutes, and by then she was already in the intensive care unit. They were attending to her and at the same time calling me from there. I even had some of the staff members praying for her. You can't pray for somebody that is going to die. So I rushed to the airport to get any available flight to Lagos. At least any lowo Abuja lowa tó ti gbọ́ ikú ọmọ ẹ̀. But my plane was ready to take off by 4 p.m. and I was told she has passed away. Call on phone, okay. Nígbà tó pa Tolú lọ pa Rótilẹ̀, I'm sure people like that probably did never care until something else happened. So ẹ̀dẹ̀ tí ní shut up ẹnu mi. You can't sit in UK. You cannot sit in UK and be telling us that Nigeria is not going to work. Another man died. The Delhi Doha flight. A Nigerian man dies. Lórí flight. Àmọ́ tó ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀. Àmọ́ tó ṣe. A Doha-bound Indigo flight had to make an emergency landing at Karachi International Airport after a passenger said to be a Nigerian nationality, simply identified as Abdullahi, has died in the mid-flight. The airport medical staff at the Jinnah International Airport declared the Nigerian passenger dead upon arrival. Ó lè ti sick tẹ́lẹ̀, but Nigeria prayer lẹ máa fi me about sick ẹ máa fi prayer ẹ máa fi tẹ̀ lórí. I just pity a lot of people that are probably not educated to understand what we are fighting for. I watch a lot of videos. I see things happening. Tinubu emergency as president-elect reflection of people's will. Buratai, the ambassador to Benin Republic, the former chief of army staff. Ekogbo, when we're all ready, we'll push for the freedom we're asking for. Is that going to stop people like us from educating you? No. We will continue to educate you. You want election, they've given you election. An election, yeah, they keep defending. I keep reading all your comments. Comments you to me. If you like, put as many of your comments there. It doesn't make any impact to me. I am not the one suffering. I am 6,000 or 4,000 miles away from Nigeria. Èyí tẹ́ wà nílẹ̀ ń suffer, èmi kọ́ ni mò ń suffer náà. Ṣé èmi mò ń suffer? Èmi kọ́ mò ń suffer o. Èyí tẹ́ wà nílẹ̀ ń suffer, and suffer of so many things. CBN governor Emefiele privately told a governor become a non-naira note, but kò lè jáde láti wá sọ síta. Can you imagine? Is that a country? I'm just 4 minutes away to Starr Radio UK, and the transmission will be changing to Starr Radio in just about a few minutes. But when I finish Starr Radio, I'm going to close the broadcast. Then I'm going to come and talk about a topic to move sorrow later. I had a very great weekend. I hope you had yours was great as well. I live in a society that respects rule of law, where things work. And that's exactly what we want for you. But it's okay. Mo rí pé Sanwó-Olú lọ sí church. Church. Everybody is scared. Gunmen invade Abuja resident. Abuja. Ó gbé pastor àti ìyàwó lọ pẹ̀lú 10 residents in Abuja. Gunmen. There's nothing like gun. Ṣáwọn IPOB nìyẹn àbí àgbọmọ Yorùbá. Everybody lives in denial in that crazy country. But then everybody will care. Care nípa humanity. You know. But àwa tá care. Àwa ẹni ṣé mi ni mo kówó Nàìjíríà jẹ. I laugh when people say scammer, 419. I just laugh, Early mass event don't need in the UK, but not somebody like me. I just laugh when I see some of your comments, those idiotic Nigerians. Ìgbà mi ti bá lọ page ẹni ẹ̀ máa kọ́ máa rẹ́rìn pé máa wọlé. Má ṣe. I've been traveling before I start Yoruba Nation. At least níwọ̀n bá there, I travel between countries and I do a lot of things. So if you pè torí Yoruba Nation, mo ní lè lọ anywhere mọ́, màá wà lójú kan. Mad people all over the place. Bí àyàlè, bí èmi nìyà ń jẹ, bí ìyà yìí nìyà ń jẹ, ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wà yìí. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà ká tó dé Yoruba Nation yẹn. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Gunmen believed to be kidnappers on Friday invaded Grow Home Estate. Imagine, estate ní Abuja, wọ́n kóyàn mẹ́wàá lọ. Imagine, inside Abuja. I pity a lot of you. Ẹ máa sunkún ní bank. Àròwó gbà o, àwọn the same people náà lọ vote APC o. Àná àròwó gbà. Ó ń pẹ́kẹ́ tó máa ròwó gbà. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà. Ìbí pìrìsẹ́ńtà kan lọ́nú kú. Kọ́lọ̀ ń fọ̀rùn kẹ nìbàdàn. Èmi ò ṣáà lè kú àbí nísìn torí pé mi wà níbi tí àlàáfíà wà. Wọ́n ní ó lówó kò rówó gbà ní bank. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà. Wá àwọn politician á dì pẹ̀lú gbogbo yín dáadáa. Ká tó dé Yorùbá Nation yẹn. Ṣẹ́nà ẹ̀fẹ̀ gbọ́n ni ẹ̀yin tẹ́ believe ni mo bá sọ̀rọ̀. Òṣìṣẹ́ yìí tẹ́tí believe ẹ̀yin tẹ́tí believe ẹ̀ ní láti wọ́rí ara yín. Ẹ dáhùn tó believe yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà ni mo sọ. Mo yóò yà. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà. Ẹ̀mí á fẹ́ bọ́ ká tó dé Yorùbá Nation. Police rescue kidnapper Ogun journalist in Lagos. Adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run. Ọba rescue. Tí wọ́n ti pàdánù. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà. Kó tó lè farawé mi, wàá kúrò Nàìjíríà. Ó tó bẹ́ẹ̀ kó farawé mi. Wàá ti kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Tó bá dẹ̀ ti dé abroad, wàá máa ṣépè fún Nàìjíríà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi náà ṣe ń ṣépè fún Nàìjíríà lójoojúmọ́. Ó tó bẹ́ẹ̀, ní tèmi ṣe ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ láti ṣe Nàìjíríà. Mad people all over the place. Ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa parọ́ fún yín. Kí Western world máa sọ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà máa work. Western world gan mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà lè work. Gunmen seems not to be deterred by the scarcity of cash rocking the nation as they create tension in Election Village, Olomo community, Apete, Ido local government area of Oyo State, when they invaded the community at the wee hours of Sunday with POS machine. Can you imagine? Gunmen, wọ́n gbé POS machine wá. Yeah, fíkẹ́ síbẹ̀ kò gbọ́ ọjà fíkẹ́ síbẹ̀. Further information available indicate that the armed robbers made away with huge amount of transfer from their victims' account. Ṣé tó bá ń transfer owó 11 till 9 kí n pẹ́ kí n join studio ní láti change aṣọ mi. Ṣé tó bá ń transfer owó níbo ló ń transfer sí? Criminal intent ó ti wà nínú Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n máa point the finger sí tribe kan. Àwọn criminal tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá náà pọ̀. Criminals wọ́n fẹ́ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ní fẹ́ Yorùbá nation gbàdẹ́ olè ni wọ́n. Olè. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé tí nǹkan bá ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa kò ní sí criminal intent. Bọ́wọ̀ fẹ́ yẹn. Oh, criminals all over the place. Àfẹ́yẹ̀ rẹ̀ bá nation kankan. Àfẹ́yẹ̀ rẹ̀ Nàìjíríà la fẹ́ gbọ̀tẹ́ kó lè ní wọn. Criminals. Gbogbo àwọn tá a máa dín pẹ̀lú lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la ni. Criminals all over the place. Àwọn olè. Àfẹ́ Yorùbá nation ṣe ó lẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀. Tinubu ti débẹ̀. Bí ẹ̀ tí mọ̀ pé Tinubu lè ní kankan ṣe. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà ni mo sọ. Ìka lè mi wà. Mo lè ṣe business. Mo lè dá lè iṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ ní London. Mo lè travel níwọ̀nba bí ti bá lè lọ. Tí bá nídìí kankan lọ́wọ́ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì nílùú èyí. Tí bá wà entitled sí wá fún mi. Èyí tí bá wà entitled wá ní mo wà entitled sí. Policy government yìí á support mi. But ní Nàìjíríà ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà ká tó dé Yorùbá nation. Ṣẹ́nà ẹ̀fẹ̀ gbọ́n ni. À ń sọ fún yín pé Yorùbá nation ẹni kì í gbẹ́nu dákẹ́. Ẹni Yorùbá nation kọ́ Yorùbá nation ni. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà ni mo sọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni bunch of illiterate ìyá mi Yétúndé bunch of illiterate. Màá kọ́ máa ka comment wọn nígbà máa ń kọ́ káwọn lè ní àti àgbàlagbà àtàwọn obìnrin náà. Ìyàwó Yétúndé máa ń rí comment àwọn obìnrin kan. Màá kọ́ ka comment ẹ̀ máa kọ́ máa rẹ́rìn pé ọmọ ẹ̀dẹ̀ wà ní Nàìjíríà nísìn tó ń jìyà. tó lè lọ sí skul. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tí wá ti lọ sí skul ní UK nísìn, gbogbo ọmọ ti lọ sí skul. Kò sọmọ tó ń ta wóróbo wóróbo ládùúgbò. Àwọn ìyá wèrè wọn ní scammer, ó ti kówó jẹ, ó ti gbowó pa. Ìgbòho jẹ́gẹ́ bí bèbí ní Ìgbòho àbí Ìgbòho jẹ́gẹ́ bí bèbí, ṣé bébí á ní Ìgbòho? So irú èmi àgbàlagbà báyìí ni máa ti Ìgbòho. Bíá Ìgbòho nìyá ń jẹ, bíá ẹ̀yin nìyá ń jẹ tó fẹ́ gbàlẹ̀ àtẹ̀mí. Bíá bàbá Akíntóyè nìyá ń jẹ, àbí ẹ̀yin tí yà ń jẹ ta fẹ́ gbàlẹ̀ pé ká gbára wa sílẹ̀. Ìmáàna fẹ́ gbà yín sílẹ̀, a fẹ́ gbára wa sílẹ̀. Ẹ rò pé èmi náà ní fámìlì ńlẹ̀ ni? Èmi náà ní fámìlì ńlẹ̀. Ìgbà tí bá lè ṣe fún wọn ni. Tó bá yẹ olúkálukú orí wa máa pé. Ṣànẹ́ ẹ̀fẹ̀ gbọ́n ni. Ẹ gbọ́n by fire by force. By fire by force lẹ́ẹ̀ máa fi gbọ́n. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa parọ́ fún yín pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́. Àtàwọn tó ń tì í tán sọ fún yín pé àwọn ti gba Yorùbá nation. So country, also the country, also in our carry with social media. You know, so also that was carry. Ẹ mọ̀ pé tó wà níta, ayé ẹ̀ bẹ́tà jẹ́ ní tẹ́wàá nílé lọ. So, ẹ yà pé Archie, let's go straight to the program. Aṣọ kan náà lè mú àti Archie bẹ̀rẹ̀ lónìí kẹ́. Aṣọ táwọn ọgbà síra wọn láìpẹ́. Ẹ jẹ́ mo yóò yà. Gbogbo wọn ṣe skit everybody ṣe àti comedy ìlú wẹ̀rẹ̀.
It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. How many is past the top of the hour at a time? The Monday edition of the morning show. Here and other segment will bring you updates from Nigeria, everything that is happening in Nigeria over the weekend. Maybe you listen to us and you got some more information on the ground as we do like to hear that as well. But we go on the ground as well, trying to also make sure that we got everything that we need to know. However, closer to home, we have got Mr. Olayomi Hrh in our Northland studios. We've got all the kids from there. But let's go back straight to our Northland studios where we have the White Lion himself. Yomi, good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning to all our teams, and good morning to all our listeners from around the world. And welcome once again to the 13th of March 2023, 5 minutes past, Starr Radio UK, an update from Nigeria.
How are you doing, and how was the weekend?
Well, the weekend was a beautiful, enough time with the family as usual. And likewise, enough time to reflect, especially with so many things happening around us. But because we are media, so we see things from different angles. When you're alive, you're grateful. Things happen. I was looking at the Indonesia as the situation there in terms of tourism. That is one of the biggest. But when you look at the current pact of lava that is now disrupting the environment, it have impact on those that rely on these, trade. So when you look at Nigeria, you ask yourself so many times, how did we get to where we are today? That a country full of human resources, natural resources, blessed, and as we speak right now, you can just reflect back and ask the same question again. How did we get to where we are? Who should we blame? Should we blame God? Should we blame mankind? Should we blame those that have led the country to ditch? But today, we are still alive and we're grateful. So that is what we can say. And the weekend was just as beautiful as I have enough rest.
Well, that is good. We hope that everyone is fine there. family, those here and those abroad as well. Hope that you are all doing well. Okay, now listeners start already looking at not landing studios with online because we have Archie here in the South Studios and we're bringing you everything that you need to know from Nigeria. Let's go. Governors are giving Malawi every Tuesday or tonight to obey Supreme Court. You know that in Nigeria, when the court rule, some people decide to adhere to it, others they are above the law. Up to now, I don't know whether we had Buhari speak about the ruling or of the Supreme Court pertaining to the Naira, and then maybe by so giving direction so that everybody knows that this is what the president has said. After he made that past statement before the election, we've now heard him come back, make another statement that this is what the Supreme Court has said, and in relation to that, we are all accepting that statement that has been made. What has happened? And why are the governors now pursuing Malani and everything?
Bear with me in case the camera is just about to come off. There's a bit of a system that has opened from the background. We're trying to close that so that it doesn't have any impact on that. Yeah, I think we should be stable. Yes, I mean, let's remind ourselves that, again, these are the questions, how did we get to where, the government of the day refused to listen to the court order. As long as we don't respect the court order, then we don't have a society, neither do we have a country. Because the reason why we have those courts put in place is to go in line with the constitution of the country. And when you go in line with the constitution of the country, it's also to then be able to deal with issues that could have big impact, to the not just the community, but we're talking about the whole country right now. We're not talking about a trade between myself and another person. We're talking about a country. So the governors have now given the Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, and the Emefiele that the picture is right behind me, up to tomorrow to obey the Supreme Court order. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Maybe they have to go again to the court, and again, they're not going to listen and respect the court. Let's remind people, Buhari still have up to the May before the real handover to the president-elect Bola Tinubu. But what we can say is the state government which sued the federal government on the new Naira design policy have now given the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami SAN and the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele till tomorrow to comply with the order of the Supreme Court on the currency. Why have they not kept to the order? Is something that is still a little bit baffling a lot of Nigerians. The Supreme Court has actually said Nigerians can spend the old Naira bill up to December 30. Even though Buhari said only the 200 Naira will be accepted to be spent up to April next month. But since the Supreme Court order has come in place, the question then is, why has the federal government not yet said anything? But it seems that rather than speaking directly to the members of the public, Emefiele, according to the governor of Anambra State, is now saying that he had a private chat with Emefiele, and Emefiele says people can spend the old Naira bill. So the question then is, why has Emefiele himself, with the central bank, they have the spokesperson, they can release this statement officially, rather than through, a governor of a state that this news will never even filter through to the whole of Anambra, not to talk about the next state next to Anambra State, talking about the 36th state. But let's wait to see what is going to happen tomorrow when this ultimatum by this governor is going to come to a lapse.
Now it's worrying and shameful because it's the life of people, the wealth of people. Because you have people who are crying. I mean, this man Solulu saying that that's what Emefiele told him in private. Who cares what you guys are saying in private? We want to know what is in the public domain. What we have. But he told him that can you go and tell the trader in wherever he's the governor that you know what the CBN saying that just accept that money. The governor saying that just accept that money. No, it wouldn't be so. I don't know what they are doing. Whether they still have it at the back of their mind, but on what they were trying to do. They said that they were trying to get people who have actually have lost type of money in their home, or they made those money dodgy money, and therefore they want to do something. quell that. But the action that they are taking, it is not working in the interest of Nigerians as a whole. And I'm sad about it because I'm looking at Nigerians where there's a need for people to rise up and speak out. People are seem to be, oh, you know what? I mean, what we say is what will happen, and let's go about our duties. But what has been the reaction of people? When people are very desperate, they don't need to come out and say something like what is going on, so on.
Well, the question is, when we say to those at home that, around the world situation sometimes persists, that you have to also demand, and the only language the government around the world understand is protest. But it seems that Nigerians probably rely more on prayer than protest. And I'm not sure how that works in reality. But I can tell you that over the weekend while we were off, on Saturday, a radio presenter died because he couldn't get money from the bank and he had to trek all the way to work. Ibadan, cash crunch. Ibadan radio presenter slumps dies while trekking to office. Imagine I have to walk all the way from my house to the studio, or you have to walk all the way from your house to the studio because you have the money in the bank, but you could not get the money out to be able to fuel your petrol, your car. So, according to the report, a popular presenter with Ibadan-based private radio station Fresh FM Nigeria, popularly known as Baba Binti, has been reportedly dead after he slumped while trekking to work for his program. This was on Saturday morning. According to the report, Baba Binti was announced during a radio program by his colleagues Komolafe Olaya and Olayomi Hrh. Earlier during the program, Onyado yesterday, the duo spoke about the unusual lateness of the presenter to the studio, but towards the end of the program, the presenter announced that he died while trekking from Amuloko to Fresh FM at Challenge with the hope of getting to a point of sale POS agent to get cash. Well, the cash itself is no longer there, but those that have the cash are now also the armed robbers. We take me to the next story. Gunmen, this is not today. Gunmen seems not to be deterred by the scarcity of cash rocking the nation as they created tension in Eleshi village, Olomo community, Apete, Ido local government area of Oyo State, when invaded the community at the wee hours of Sunday with POS machine where individuals are asked to transfer money. Not just money, they were able to cut away with iPhones, and other valuables as well. So it seems that the criminal gangs have now even had the money. They have their own machine where they get to the community and you do the transfer. The question then is, we hope that the police will be able to trace back where this money has been transferred to, or probably one of those fake accounts that has been used. These are some of the pressure from the government that refused to listen to the Supreme Court order that is creating in the society today.
Well, this is Starr in the UK. Very, very horrible time for Nigerians. The sad story of this journalist or this radio presenter was died. If he had money in his pocket, he would have at least put on a commercial vehicle to get to his destination and his workplace. But it wasn't like that. It's a very, very sad situation that is going on. But like we are saying, somebody will say, oh, it was that. When we need to take action, we take action. It's not when something that you can do for things to change. You say, go to pray about it. No, I believe in prayer. I'm a faith person. But there is time for everything. There is a time that you have to pray to God after you get out and you sort things out. Well, I don't know what people are thinking, but well, it is already okay. Updates from Nigeria. What to hear maybe what the presidency is going to say about all this and whether it's going to be going on and what other states are doing. But the Supreme Court ruling is saying that they should just accept the whole currency until the end of
December 2023. Yeah.
But how many states are accepting it at the moment? I'm looking at the whole Nigeria. How is it going so far?
Well, each of the governors of the state are pleading with the residents, the traders, to try to keep the economy of the state running, to accept this old Naira note bill. And, some of them are not accepting it. And the reason for not accepting it is because not that they don't trust their governor, but because the CBN governor and likewise, the presidency is not coming out officially in a statement that they will have listened to on the radio. Even though each governor, I mean, I saw the governor of Ondo State, had a televised, in the state as well, pleading, because if you refuse to take this money, then there's going to be danger in the state, and the trade will be locked down. In Mushi in Lagos State, I saw a full load of banana destroyed because nobody's going to buy it because the trader is not accepting the old currency bill. And most of these traders are not, tech. That means they don't even have, some of them don't have a bank account, and some that have a bank account do not understand, in terms of transfer. So it's been a very difficult one, especially for the elderly women that are doing trades across the 36 states today.
Looking like to be an advantage for people who have this tech to go around, or the federal government actually getting people like, look, this is the desperation that you go to if you want to be having cash for you. But if we go cashless, then we are able to get through that. So you think it's an opportunity for government to introduce something to Nigeria, and how would it after how would it take it?
Well, not that the governors of each state are not doing their best, when it comes to disagreeing that, money that can be changed. But their problem is, it seems that, the whole reason for this change of redesign is to topple the election itself. I mean, the election is not yet over. Let's remind ourselves that we still have, the most difficult one, which is the governorship election on Saturday. And that means that, whoever is behind this redesign probably still wants to, make the final push till Saturday. Maybe after Saturday on the 18th, we might see the governor coming out, the central bank governor coming out, and the presidency, we don't know yet. But the expectation is that, the federal government, there are some cabals within the federal government that wanted to topple the election process, bringing out this new Naira design at this particular time.
Well, listeners, it's not really up this from Nigeria. 90 minutes past 11 the time. With me, I'm by myself here in the studio, so like currently is in our Northland this series, and we are bringing you up with. I have our producer, Mr. Francis, that you do is in the back. Okay, let's move on. But you know what I mean? Now we know that every player has been eventually he had some charges against him by the DSS. Now I'm looking at this quietly, and I'm asking myself, so should Buhari leave up?
He's gonna run away. I can assure you that. Because he's not gonna have any immunity anymore. Especially, remember that Hrh, stated it categorically that when Tinubu becomes the president, he's still president in waiting, because he has to wait till May 29 to take the vaccine. That he will reverse that, new Naira redesign. And I'm sure they will have to put the DSS on top of somebody like a Emefiele so that he doesn't run away. But there's rumor, I can confirm that already his family has left Nigeria.
Well, listeners, what do you think? Is the fella going to be in Nigeria when Buhari goes? Maybe they'll come to a visit in the UK, and he comes to the UK. I won't know. Well, we leave that to them. But it is time. Now let's move on to some other stories. Now, abduction. We're talking about the fact that some were thinking that all of the Naira stability. So you want to abduct somebody, what do they pay you? Are they going to do bank transfer, electronic one that cost you for them to be traced? No, they wouldn't do that. But for a journalist who was missing or abducted in Ogun State, and then later on found in Lagos. Yeah.
Well, at least, it shows that the security agency are also on top of some of these, criminality that is going on. We do get a lot of people that are, kidnapped, and sometimes, they get killed, and sometimes, the security agency are not involved because the family are scared and concerned. Okay, I'm just getting a report. There's a protest going on in Rivers State after a driver was allegedly killed yesterday by the task force operative. The Port Harcourt bus driver protesting against this ugly incident. Again, not a very good one, as security agency discharged their weapons in a very, very wrong way, in Nigeria. So let's go back to the story of this, journalist that was kidnapped. Sometimes some of these, let's go with the story. The operatives of the Ogun State Police Command have rescued a journalist, Oduneye Olusegun, on the 11th of March after he was adopted on the 9th of March by some gunmen in Mobile Phone area in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State. According to the information, the victim was returning to Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, when he was attacked in his Toyota Camry and kidnapped at about almost 2000 hours. Upon his adoption, again, money was demanded, about 30 million in ransom. Then the alarm incident was quickly reported to the police. However, the Commissioner for Police, CP Frank Umba, instructed the DPO of Balinde Division Headquarters, whose jurisdiction the incident happened, to ensure the safe rescue. And we can say that that has been done. I mean, this is what we expect the security operatives to do. When people are kidnapped, they sweep into action, trace the line. The technology is there, and and then try as much as possible, to rescue individuals. But sometimes they do so, and sometimes they don't. Meanwhile, the victim was rescued unhurt as his car seats were stained with the kidnapper's blood. So it seems that as detective effort paid off, traced the victim Toyota Camry to Idimo area of Lagos State. So it seems that those that kidnapping took him back to Lagos State, where the kidnappers were holed up waiting for the ransom. On sighting the police, the kidnappers engaged them in gun draw, which lasted for about 45 minutes before they abandoned the car, fled after sustaining varying degree of gunshot injury. So it seems that the attackers are probably people that knows him, or people, again, due to the situation of the country, everybody has become almost a criminal intent, and they're taking advantage of whoever they can take advantage of. This one has gone wrong, and we are so happy that he has returned back to his family safely.
It is really okay. Now there are other stories of kidnapping where pastor and their the wife and their family and some people. So the question is how or has the adoption has gone up or has it dropped?
Well, we can, when we got the news, not just that alone, we also saw that on Saturday, many villagers were killed and several injured on Saturday while we were away for the weekend, as vigilante operatives clashed with terrorists in Kankara community in Katsina State. The information available indicates that the clash occurred when the terrorists were attending the wedding ceremony of one of their leaders, known as Mayor Katifa Mutua. Imagine terrorists also having wedding ceremony. Also happening in Nigeria. It's just But the one that shocked me was the one of the estate attack by the terrorists in Abuja. We believe that Abuja is the capital city. So if you're going to live in any part of Nigeria today that you'll be safe, it should be in Abuja. But that did not happen. Well, with this story that came out, in Abuja, almost 11 people have been taken away. No fewer than 11 persons, including a family of 5, have been taken away by terrorists who invaded Chikakori Estate opposite Champion Assembly headquarters in Kubwa, Abuja, at about 1 a.m. on Friday. I'm talking about 1 in the middle of the night. What do we know? Further information available indicate that the security operatives attached to the estate tried to engage the terrorists, but let me remind you that these terrorists have enough fire weapon and they will not be able to be, dislodged easily if the security are not enough, with enough weapon to, to take them out. But they were able to flee through the rail tracks with all these victims. The question then is, what is the security operative doing from that Saturday till today? There is no news yet that 11 people have been rescued. And let me tell you, when people are kidnapped from Nigeria, by the time you wake up, they've walked about almost 4 hours. So they are no longer in that vicinity anymore. What they do is the operation comes into the community and they move out again quickly. And we've seen traces of that. They could be anywhere in Kogi State right now. And that means intelligence will only be what is needed to be able to trace them. And what are the intelligence? Phone calls. When phone calls are made, because most of those that have been kidnapped will probably have to be told to make a call, for ransom to be start paying. Remember that 5 family members Nigeria has happened to them, plus another 6 in an estate. We're not talking about an open, high road or street. In a closed estate that terrorists were able to invade and remove 11 families, 5 out of that as one single family that is nowhere to be found as we speak today in what is known in Nigeria. May Nigeria not happen to us, but Nigeria has already happened to these families and the rest of the 6.
Sad one there. We hope they are found and rescued because I don't know what if I would be doing if I were in that particular state. But well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Stories coming your way from Nigeria this morning. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Hrh and Upland Studio. I'm actually here in the South Studios. But before I take you to bring the other stories making the round, in the South East, said there was some protest going on. But another one that I've heard is Akuma activists tackle Supreme Court over Kano's detention. Now, what are the latest updates coming from the Southeast as well?
Well, the Southeast is still a very tense, situation, especially as, the government refused to release Nnamdi Kanu after being acquitted and discharged on all the 15 counts. I mean, Kanu should be returned back to where he was picked up, by the Nigerian government of President Muhammadu Buhari, since 2021. And it seems that also, the legal team are trying to make more changes. We don't know how that is going to be happening, but information last week says Kanu is changing some of his legal team as well. The British High Commission have made visit to Kanu, but there's still not enough push, to get him out. So those Biafrans are saying that should Kanu still remain in the captivity of the federal government, they would also continue with their peaceful, disobedience of sit-at-home, which occurs every Monday. As I speak to you right now, in Monday, almost every part of the Southeast is locked, and not even transportation can move into the axis because of the fear of unknown. But one thing is, the Biafra continue their push and also continue to demand that the federal government release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, especially as his health is becoming quite alarming for so many people.
Well, listeners, it is already. Give your information or your text messages or your WhatsApp messages or post your comments on our Facebook page or some other social media platform. And I promise you one so I'm going to touch on me before Domi brings you the rest of the story reading around. Let me say good morning to Michael Ade. Great work, Archie and Corey, and say thanks for the update. And you guys are doing a great job. And thank you very much, Michael. And without you guys, we will not go anywhere. That's why, because of you, we are here once again. But now, let's go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories to speak around. Over to you, Yomi.
Thank you so much, Starr Radio UK. As other social cultural group are not happy with the election, I'm talking about the Afenifere are not pleased with the outcome of this election, or Hamize is not pleased. But the Arewa are saying that the 2023 presidential election is the fairest election according to the Arewa groups. The Arewa Youth Consultative Forum has described the February 25th presidential election as the fairest in Nigeria since 1999. Well, I'm not sure if everybody believes in that, but as a social cultural group, that is their take on this election that have just been concluded, even though, according to report coming from the leader of the presidential candidate of the PDP, Peter Obi says that he's only doing what is best in the interest of Nigeria by trying to take his case to the court. Also, Buratai, the former chief of army staff, Tinubu's emergency as president-elect is a reflection of the people's will. I say with all sense of responsibility that our collective future is assured under the renewed hope, vision, and mission of Bola Tinubu. This is coming from someone that could not protect Nigeria while he was the chief of army staff, is the current ambassador to Nigeria. But this is the nepotism that takes place in Nigeria today. Naira scarcity. NSCDC raises concern over circulation of fake currency. Imagine that even a civilized society like ours, there's still fake counterfeit, and that's why each time you go out there, you give the note, they have to put it under the radar to make sure that it's not a fake one. Mr. Udi further advised citizens to avoid being victims of fraudsters by ensuring they transact with banks. most especially when large sums were involved. Well, this is the same bank that is not giving money out in the first place and is becoming a lot of concern to Nigerians today because when you go to the bank, you cannot get access to the money. Labour Party PDP agent of destabilization seeking INEC chairman resignation. The Arewa youth, Arewa Youth Consultative has condemned the call for the resignation of the INEC chairman. Is the same group that is saying that the election is free and fair. So they believe that the election has been conducted very well, and there is no need, for this resignation of the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu. The People's Democratic Party, the Labour Party, and other groups are calling, for Yakubu to resign, but the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum described those calling for the resignation of Mr. Yakubu's agents of destabilization. We say no to forces of destabilization of Nigeria, who has been calling for resignation of the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, without any cogent reason. Arewa Youth Consultative Forum National President Yerima Shetima said in a statement yesterday. It's a very, very, difficult one here. As okay, I think you want me to come back to the studio.
Principal, good morning to you. Nice to have you on. But this pertaining to this Arewa group support for Mahmoud Yakubu. Now, my question is, do you think that Mahmoud himself, sitting down, looking at everything that went on, if you think that the performance was above water, why wouldn't he have conducted the last Saturday's election, but rather postponed it to next week? Now, he himself has come out to say that people who were involved in all sorts that he was saying, this time around they are going to make sure that they take them out, and so that there were flaws in the election. It wasn't free and fair. But for his community, I think we are just blind supporters or sycophancy. We just decide, because this person here from our area, whatever the person is doing, it's okay. If that was what was happening, the Yorubas will say that, or the Yoruba native will say that Tinubu hails from their country, and therefore they are part of the country, and therefore it should be the one. But they said no, this is what we really want to do. So I don't know what the Arab people are actually saying. What has been the reaction of the general public in Nigeria to that?
Well, when you look at the statement coming up from the Arewa, there's a particular video I play all the time, and when you listen to them, they say that they are the one holding Nigeria together. And without them, there will not be any Nigeria. So there's this, disunity already in the country, but it seems that everybody is just trying to manage it. And that is why those of us that are saying that, not that we cannot have the good neighbors, the neighbors of the Arewa and the Edo, the other countries, just as, the Soviet Union break away, we understand that there's still tension between Ukraine and Russia, but we hope that things will be resolved amicably. But when you look at the other region, you will see that they've been doing very well with each other after the breakup of the Soviet Union. But when we get this kind of statement coming out, it shows that exactly, and Peter Obi is saying, I have no issue with Tinubu, I am only challenging INEC process. As INEC done the right process in the first place, everybody agrees that INEC has not done the right process, but the Arewa disagreed with the PDP, the Labour Party, and the rest that are calling for the resignation of the INEC chairman. Even though here in UK, INEC chairman spoke at the Chatham House, says election will be transmitted, but it seems that that is something that is said, but that is something that never happened in reality.
Have they published the results now?
Well, it's not yet published. So what they are doing is they're reconfiguring the Beavers as a preparation for the March 18 governorship election. And I'm being told that by tomorrow, all this reconfiguration will be ready, and they'll start dispatching them to each of the states where the governorship election will be held.
Wow, interesting. As this Eric says, good morning, brother Koiki, and good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to you, Aziz. Long time. We are doing very well. We thank God Nigeria is not happy. But wherever you are, continue to send your messages through and I'm sure we will catch up. Let's go to Joby for the rest of the story. Over to you, sir.
So we go straight to what is going on in just two more headline, and then we go straight to the social media. Lagos gubernatorial Aregbesola met stakeholders, tower rallies. I saw the video, and then you just keep asking yourself, the politicians are very worried and scared, especially with the current situation in Lagos State. Election is still ongoing. So, this weekend, as Nigerians go out again to perform their civic right. For those that still believe in Nigeria, I don't believe in Nigeria. We believe that the right to self-determination must be respected, but we can also stop those that still want to be part of Nigeria, and that means that we're going out again. But there's a lot of pressure in Lagos State, as I saw the governor of Lagos State in the church, shaking hands, with those that came to the church service, and likewise, so many adverts, in the push to bring it back. We also can say that, the governorship candidate of Labour Party was almost assassinated, during one of their rallies on Saturday in the Ekpe area. It shows how election is a do or die. Makinde bows to Murik pressure, removes him from the mosque. We know that Seyi Makinde, one of the G5, is also going to be recontested. He endorsed Tinubu, but so he's going as a PDP candidate, even though for presidential he did not endorse Atiku. This is how the politics works in Nigeria. Why is there pressure? The Muslim right concern has expressed satisfaction and appreciation to the governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State for removing his name from the signboard of Adogba Central Mosque, Iwo Road, Ibadan. Recall that the Islamic group on Saturday criticized the governor for naming the mosque that he demolished and rebuilt after him. The governor reportedly gave orders for the removal on Sunday following a Saturday protest. Murik commended Makinde in a statement by his director, Professor Isaac Akitola. Let's go now straight to the social media and take some of what is trending. The Naira is trending, and you can tell why. There's a lot of pressure on so many Nigerians. I've seen mothers, women, men crying, because they can't get access to the money. And each time you get into the banking hall, you are probably given just less than 10,000 Naira. It doesn't matter how much you have in there. Reminder of some of what has been said. There's a particular video, I believe is probably, ignorant, or probably maybe Nigerians are not aware, around the world, money get destroyed. So there's a particular video that is trending this morning where there's a statue of money that has been probably, destroyed, but people believe that that is probably not something to be done. But I think that money was destroyed, but somebody managed to capture the video. I'm not sure it's saying what somebody would destroy the money and then, put it at the back of their yard. So it's like, when the money gets destroyed, like it becomes a sawmill, So I think this is what has happened, but the video is trending as we see. 9 shows of old Naira note disposed amid scarcity of the Naira note itself. Also, I can see again pressure from each of the state. This is Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, has given a strong warning to business owners in the state rejecting the old Naira note. The governor made the statement, on his Twitter. There's a lot of pressure, and it seems that without any thing done quickly, is going to kill as many businesses as possible. Let's just take a listen. Let's listen to what the governor is saying from my end here, and then I'll come back again to you in the studio. Once again, this is Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Every merchant, trader, negotiator, banker that will be using old Naira notes. If you are reported today, I will deal with you.
What you had in there is going to deal with anybody refusing that. That is coming as well to Lagos State. Old Naira notes remain in legal tender. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on Monday said that the old Naira note remain in legal tender in the state. One of the sad news when incident happened is when you start reflecting on it. Let's take you back to the incident between the Lagos staff bus and the train accident that occurred, last week. One of the parents of the NYSC youth couple that was involved in that accident, may also rest in peace, have just, was preparing for a master program here in United Kingdom, just as Dr. Chinelo was preparing to leave Nigeria to Canada. but she was eventually killed on the train by the terrorists. But this is not a terrorist attack. This was an accident that should have been avoided. But since Nigerians believe that the driver should be blamed for it, we continue to say that the state government should be held responsible. I saw someone making the visit to the parents. Again, we know that this is just for campaign reason, nothing more than that. But because someone refused to pay a courtesy visit himself to the family of Bamishe that was also killed in the BRT. But since the election in Lagos State is quite tense, it's moving around. Even somebody said, if you invite the governor to your son's birthday party, the rest assured the governor will come down there. So we pray for the soul of this young girl. But this is the question. The father got to know about the incident. The father is in Abuja. As we always say, most Nigerians as well, Bamishe case is still ongoing. There's no protest on her behalf. There's no support to the family. But the next victim happened. Who do we blame? So let's continue to pray that things like such will be avoided. Like I said, when you go to Ikeja today on that same rail track, I can assure you there are so many traders there selling their wares and goods, and you'll probably never understand that an accident happened there just last week.
Well, what lessons have been learned? That's the question that we do ask. But when it comes to this part of the world, when things like that happen, lessons take place, and then lessons are learned. Whatever made that accident happen, so that next time such an accident will not happen, or that magnitude of an accident will not happen. We try our best to bring things to the barest minimum, but we don't see that there. But Miss Gold is saying that it's no visit Bamishe's family, and which Yomi says no. And why is it not? But Miss Gold continues saying, does it mean that the driver was sent by Sonolu to do whatever he did to Bamishe? And he says, we don't know what to say or think about it anymore, but that the BRT will continue to take many lives until Sonolu intervenes. So,
and another comment here as well from Mrs. Moji Adesina saying you would deal with the citizen is not welcoming statement from this guy in the governor's state. I mean, maybe they should probably be able to plead with the citizen to try to make business trade with each other, but say that it's going to deal with them is understatement, according to what Mrs. Moji Adesina is saying here as well. Somebody's asking, when do we get Yoruba Nation? We will get Yoruba Nation when everybody, the politicians and the Yoruba, understand the right to self-determination, and I think that's the best answer to such a question.
Of course. Listen to Starr Radio UK. We hope that with everything that is going on, I mean, some way, somehow, people are able to live their life peacefully. But that's the thing that was made by that, the audio that you did play. Now, that person, is he a governor or what?
He's a governor of Ogun State. Yeah, he's a governor. Yeah.
So, as a governor, can he just go? I said, I'm not going to pay something. You, the governor, come and arrest me. You think the mayor can go and come and arrest you in your house?
What? Trust me, some of these governors are very dangerous. It's not like the Europe here where, there's rule of law. There's no rule of law in Nigeria, and most of the governors can do and undo.
Wow. Well, Starr Radio UK. Let's go to the social media platform.
Well, the social media platform, like I said, is, full of the Naira note. That's the current update from there. Yoruba Global Youth, corruption is a disease. It is a fail. We need to plug out of this cancer called corruption. And those that are asking, when is the Yoruba Nation going to happen? The Yoruba Nation would happen when you don't believe that a country has been declared on the same social media without any authentic, backing to such. That is a complete false. We've said that so many times. And this is also creating a lot of problems among the Yorubas and those that are fighting for the right to Yoruba self-determination. A country cannot be declared and then is still running inside the same country it has declared itself from. I don't know where on earth we got such individuals and groups of people believing in that, and that has been played out on a daily basis to so many Yoruba people. So the Yoruba Nation continue as we also can play our own role, which we have continued to do. It's still the right to self-determination as well. Also, and when you look at the issue of Gary Lineker, I did a full program on that. He's speaking on behalf of millions of people. It has affected him from not performing his role as a presenter on Saturday. But it seems that the pressure has now bowed down, and the BBC will be bringing him back. So if we can continue to put the pressure on our demand in a peaceful manner to the federal government of Nigeria, then the Yoruba nation will come when it's going to come.
Well, listeners, that is also true. I remember once we were going out, that time Mandela was in prison, and they had all this apartheid system there, and all these racists who were ruling at the time. We never thought that there was going to be a day, we're joining in all the campaigns and the rallies and stuff like that. But one day it didn't happen.
Even Mandela's statue is now in front of the parliament. And Mandela was called a terrorist at some point.
Yeah. So who knows? We say it all the time. If you believe in the cause, stand for it, fight for it, because who knows? One day to come. But I will say it all the time. Man, it might happen that you might not even enjoy it, you will not see that. But I believe you know that you fought something that you stood for, your children or your children have benefited from it. If it comes during your lifetime, or you don't lose anything and you get it, why not? But I tell you, this is a difficult chat. My apologies. But if you believe in it, stand for it. Tell me before we go.
Well, before we go, let us, continue to remind ourselves that Starr Radio UK, will continue to give you all the headlines coming out of Nigeria, and not just Nigeria, around the globe as well. So I'll be back again same time tomorrow, and it is the first day of the week, and we pray that things will go according to what you plan. But in a country that doesn't respect rule of law, it could be ups and downs, bumps and riding, but we are here to stabilize it for you.
We are here to stabilize it for you. Yomi, thank you very, very much.
Definitely.
Well, listeners, we brought you updates from Nigeria, wherever you are. It is the morning show, the man.
And I've been I think we're going to adjust the system from tomorrow, where I will mute my own speaker. To make sure we can disconnect while we're speaking. Sorry if the audio was not coming out properly for those of you on the what's it called. So like I said, we're just gonna be ending very soon. I will come back later for proper. So and don't be you don't need Yoruba Nation. I hope you are playing your role as well as a Yoruba man or Yoruba boy, rather than asking such questions. Yoruba Nation is a continuity. It comes at exactly when everybody's ready. Your Yoruba politicians are not ready. And what about you ready now? How about you ready? So the bands up Yoruba Nation. We have all your kings that have not done as much as what we expect them to do. So we will continue to educate every one of them. They are one about understand in time. So, it's good to ask this question, Mr. Koiki, when do we get Yoruba Nation? And I believe I've been able to answer you, to the understanding that I think. So, like I said, I was going to be off over the weekend. I have to spend time with my own loved one as well. That's why I was not out throughout the weekend. But we are back again with what we do best, educated you. Gbé nǹkan tí ẹ gbọ́ rí àti tẹ́ ti gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀, bọ̀ kò ń ṣe irú tí wọ́n ń bó fún yín pé interim government kan kìíní kan gbogbo yẹn, it's just a distraction to the movement. A movement continue. Struggle is not something that stop. You continue to push. At 12 exactly, I'm going to end this program and I'm going to come back. Koiki, the network is buffering. Yeah, it's not stable on my side here. I can see that it's fully red. Let's see. I'm not sure why. Yeah, I can see that it's not stable. It might be new. I'm not sure why it's not stable. And the network can be fluctuating sometimes. But they're stable on Facebook. But they're stable on Facebook. Hopefully, maybe before I come back. I have a lot of devices around. That's the problem. There's so much I'm running behind the scene. And all this sucking the internet, even though I'm using one of the fastest internet as well. And not download your Muti Adesoya. I'm very good about Yoruba Nation, my bossy. I'm about one bit or part of Yoruba Nation. àwọn ń pariwo Yorùbá nation lójoojúmọ́ ṣé Yorùbá nation tí mò ń pariwo ṣé kò ń ṣe fáǹfààní àwọn ọba náà ṣé èmi nìkan ni mo máa jẹ àǹfààní tabadé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá so ṣé kò ń ṣe fáǹfààní gbogbo wa náà ni àǹfààní gbogbo wa náà ni ẹ má bínú lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí it's fully red. I know it's not stable because ó wà red níbí báyìí so let me end the Twitter and let's see if that would let me just end the Koiki video now the Olayomi Koiki hopefully bí a ti bá máa fi padà wá the internet will have stable I don't know but I know it's not stable because red ló ń fún mi níbí báyìí and when it's red it's not a very good one it's meant to be green but you know there's a lot of pressure on the system that we're using so I've ended all the two Twitter but hopefully when I come back we see how it goes. I will come back later on. We have a topic that we're going to be discussing, which is àwọn ìlú tó ti jáde kúrò lára the British Empire. So that's what I'm going to be discussing when I come back. And we'll discuss other areas as usual. So we will continue. That is why it's called self-determination. It will come exactly the time we are ready. Since we are not ready to go to war, so diplomacy. Bad nickel protest lásán àwọn èèyàn máa pariwo. So bí mi pé gbà wọn ní Yorùbá nation máa ready. Ó máa ready when we are all ready. Nítorí ṣe ń pè ní self-determination ni we continue to fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. You know, ìbẹ́yìn kan náà nísìnyí ní ká má bù Tinubu ká fi Tinubu sílẹ̀ ẹ má bínú lẹ́ẹ̀kan sẹ́yìn tẹ̀wọ̀ lórí. So anyway, let's end the program so that kí lọ ṣe one or two things then I'll come back later. Free to think, Mr. Koiki, just learn to give them the best answer. Then it's not stable only on YouTube. Instagram stable anyway. All right. Hopefully when I come back, there'll be stability. I'm not sure what is going on with the internet. And then throughout the weekend. But like I said, I run a lot of device at the background. So it could be having a big impact. Oh wow, move red danger, which is not very good. So let me go and come back. And when we come back, we will have more ample of discussion. Yorùbá nation máa wáyé ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Let's continue the education and push. Have a very good morning and bye for now. Àpàdé ní later kò ní tó alẹ́ kí tó padà wá anyway so we drop volume there. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin followers wa ẹ má bínú pé ẹ wà ní weekend bọ́dà pé kan náà ọmọ mi jáde ní weekend or something so but I know a lot of you is me that you want to hear my voice okay now I'll go padà bọ̀ later. I hope you're enjoying all my engagement on Facebook. There's a lot of engagement on the Facebook.
Sì, ipò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ̀. Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni. Kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́. Torí kò sílùú mìíràn.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.